Sagittal Cogs, one of the exercises in a series of Cogs exercises invented by Gary Ward. They are designed to teach you how to get all of your joints involved with the process of yielding to or overcoming the forces imposed on it, or more colloquially, you might say figuring out how to get your whole body involved in absorbing shock and exploding out of the ground. Sagittal Cogs is this. It looks really complex, so I'll break it down for you. It's not as difficult as it looks. You're really doing 4 things with your body. You're either tilting your pelvis forwards or backwards, tilting your rib cage forwards or backwards, tilting your skull forwards or backwards, or spiraling your arms inwards or outwards. The easiest progression to do the full Sagittal Cogs exercise is to first start with a gentle tilting of the pelvis. Back and forth, imagining your pelvis was a bowl of water and you're spilling the water forwards or spilling the water backwards. You're not trying to really squeeze your way to the end range where all your muscles are clenched up. You're keeping it gentle, and over time, your range of motion will improve. The way that you get all of the rest of the cogs in the clock to start turning is very simply, imagine you've got a bowl of water balanced on your head like you're an African person carrying a bowl of water around for whatever reason. And you're trying your best not to spill the water as you perform your pelvic tilts. By focusing on not spilling the water that's on top of your head as you're tilting your pelvis, you're naturally going to have to adjust the position of your rib cage to accommodate that goal. So now what happens is at the end range, on one side of it, my pelvis is posteriorly tilted, my rib cage is anteriorly tilted, and my skull is posteriorly tilted. On the other side of it, my pelvis is anteriorly tilted, my rib cage is posteriorly tilted, and my skull is anteriorly tilted. So just like cogs in a clock, everything moves in opposition to one another so that your body can stay balanced and stacked over your feet without you having to clench up when you're moving around on your feet. So once again, in terms of just the pelvis, rib cage, and skull portion of it, you're tilting your pelvis back and forth. And by the way, just this in and of itself, great mobility exercise. But to get the full thing, you're tilting your pelvis back and forth. Then you're going to imagine there's a bowl of water balanced on your head and you're trying not to spill the water as you perform those pelvic tilts. And as a result, your pelvis, rib cage, and skull should always be moving in opposition to one another. Final component to add the arms into the mix. As you posteriorly tilt your pelvis, you're going to spiral your arms or your hands inwards, which is going to further tip your rib cage forwards. When you go the other way, when you start to anteriorly tilt your pelvis, you're going to spiral your hands outwards, which is going to help posteriorly tilt your rib cage. Finally, if you want, you can add a bit of rhythm to it, because as you should already know, rhythm helps promote more relaxation and better sequencing in your body. I'm not super I'm not a Nazi about how you breathe on this, but it is extra helpful if you inhale here and exhale here. Because when I'm exhaling here, my rib cage is closing anyways, so I might as well squeeze out more air with my exhale. When I'm here, my rib cage is opening. Might as well inhale into the open rib cage. So those are sagittal plane cogs.